Alright guys, I just got back from watching the blockbuster known as Gladiator 2, so we gotta talk about the best and worst parts about the movie. Starting off with some of the best parts about this movie was the action set pieces because these were exciting. Like bro, we got a boat fight in the Coliseum with water? Come on man! We got a man riding a rhino, which was absurd, and then we also got some monkeys that didn't even look like monkeys, man. All in all, though, those action set pieces were amazing to me. But it comes to a point where these action set pieces might just be too much for what it was trying to do. Because in this boat scene, I really like the boat fight, but why are we having sharks? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. I know there was boat fights in the Coliseum back in the day, but we talking about sharks now? There's no way that you're getting sharks all the way to the Coliseum. And then them being that aggressive and just hunting after people, that's just like a shark trope in movies that is just not true. We also had some pretty cool fights. Like, I'm gonna go back to that monkey scene. Like, when Lucius bit the monkey's arm like it was a piece of steak. Now, that was fire. And then all the monkeys around him were scared shitless. Like, they didn't want anything to do with him. Speaking of Paul Mescal, I thought he was gonna be the last deciding factor to see if this movie was good or not. I thought he was going to be the main standout, and he was just very shallow. There was no enthusiasm or energy when he was going into fights, and I'm surprised anyone even followed him. Because when he was doing motivational talks, I was sleeping, bro. I was snoring. And then the fact that he couldn't even show emotion to his mother or anyone, and if he did, it felt so forced. Like, come on. You're telling me your mother's going to come into the cell and say that she's your mother, and then you're just going to say, get the fuck out, and then 20 minutes later or so, she comes back in and you're like, all lovey-dovey, but it's so forced. There was a lot of missing parts for that direction storyline, and when he showed that emotion, it wasn't even there. He was like, I'll die for you now, but like 2 seconds later, you were just hating on her. Like, where's that development? There's just so much missing in that span. Even then, a lot of decisions for characters was horrible. Lucius's mentor just randomly agrees to go get the army to save Rome. But why are you trusting Lucius, bro? You haven't even talked to him, barely, man. Denzel Washington was the only fucking actor that made this movie worthwhile. Everyone else wanted to fucking sit on their ass and do absolutely dog shit. Why was he the only one killing it? Why was he the only one that wanted to be there? No hate on Pedro because he did what he could for the time that he had. All the actors were shallow. This whole movie was shallow. And don't even get me started on these two bitches. Especially the one on the left with this monkey, dude. One of the most annoying characters in all of movies. I swear. I don't know if I should put that as a best part or a worst part because these guys did their part. Like, I was so annoyed at him. Since I was so annoyed at him and pissed at him, I don't even want to see him ever again. I don't want to see him speak. I don't want to hear him speak. I don't want to... Just nothing. Just nothing about him. Gladiator 2 was also just way too similar to his counterpart. It has a hard time finding if it wants to be its true self or just a copy and paste. So many scenes in this are just directly from the first one, so I would suggest to even just go watch the first one and not even watch Gladiator 2 because Gladiator 1 has better performances and it's just an overall better movie. Man, Paul Mescal, you disappointed me here. Let me know what you guys thought about Gladiator 2 because this is the most disappointing movie of the year for me.